Okay, so good evening, guys. So welcome. So we are going to continue our DevOps session today. DevOps session, and today is our day 3 session, right? So today is our day 3 session, and the date is 19th of July. Sorry, 2024, and the timing is 9. Sorry, 10 p.m. IST. Okay, we are making a progress, right? We are starting on time, right? Maybe 5-10 minutes, fine, but slowly we will try to improvise it, right? Okay, so guys, today we are going to cover some major things actually. And before that, like let us see what we did yesterday on day 2. So in the day 2, majorly like we try to understood about we continued to discuss on the DevOps, right? And also we try to see like, how exactly the DevOps, the developers, as well as even the testers, they become a part of a single team and they start working on a single agenda, right? So earlier what happened, there was a lot of an issue between the developers and the DevOps engineer or the operations engineer, because developers needs more features to be added, whereas ops teams, right, the operation teams, they need more stability. So due to that reason, what happened, there's always like some kind of a some kind of a, what I can say, like some kind of a disturbance was there between the developers and testers. So that was noticed, and they got everybody into the same single team so that they can coordinately work each other, right? Later, even the security team who are part of the security related work, right? Those team people were also added, right? And we also saw the whole flow of the pipeline, right? Whenever a developer writes a code, right? He has to push the code into some source code. That is what we push the code. We push the code into the Git source code versioning system, right? So that is what the tool which we follow these days now. There are many other tools are there. A lot of companies or organizations, they use some other tools. Say, for example, they use some SVN. SVN is a very older tool, but still some companies are still using SVN, right? Many companies are using many other tools, like for example, like Dimension, like Serena company's Dimension tool is there, right? Git is there, Bitbucket is there, right? They use some kind of a source code versioning management tool where they push the code. Once the code is pushed to the source code management, right, tool, right? Later, what happens? You need to build it, and finally you have to test it, and ultimately at the end you need to push the code into the UAT as well as into the prod environment. So we follow some kind of a cycle over here, or it is something like it is a serial way of implementing through a pipeline. So to achieve each and every stage of the pipeline, you need to use some kind of an automation. So for the automation purpose, we use some DevOps tools, right? So we come up with the Git, we come up with the Jenkins, Maven, right? All those tools and technology we incorporate in our entire pipeline. If there is something other thing which has been missing, later we can identify, even we can even incorporate that also in the pipeline. So you could see that the whole execution of the pipeline is completely automated, like when the time when the code is pushed till it has been deployed into the production moment, everything is pipeline. So it means that it is complete automation too. It's a completely automated process, and there is no manual intervention in that. And we also discuss about something like continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. What is the difference between that two, right? That also we saw. And continuous integration, I told that we are going to like I'll be taking up in after some time, not now. Right. Yeah, IBM rational clear case. To be very honest, Ram Prasad, IBM rational clear case, it has not been used nowadays actually. It's almost stopped actually. Everywhere, Git is a tool which has been mostly used actually. Right. This is what we had discussed in the last session actually, and also we had discussed about what should be our approach in learning the entire DevOps tool, right? That we discussed at the end, right? Fine. This is okay. So what we're going to learn today. So guys, we have to first learn about how to create the account, how to create a AWS account. This is what we'll be understanding now. So it is very simple, right? The way you create a Facebook account or you create a Instagram account or any other Gmail accounts, right? It's the same way. There's nothing difficult. You have to only give some details about your phone number, about your credit card or debit card details, and then finally the account will be created. So for creating an account, you at least need a email ID actually, right? Right, that's out. And what we are going to do now, like I have a Gmail ID which I created, and I'll be using that as a for creating my AWS account. So we can just watch. It hardly takes 10-15 minutes of time. right? And then we will kickstart the other thing. So what is our agenda today is that actually we will be creating an AWS account. That is one thing. Second, that we will see how to create a VM. Most of you already know this, how to create a virtual machine in AWS cloud account, and how to log into it. And then like we will, if time permits, I think we'll be having a time, we will start with introduction to Linux operating system, right? And as we discussed, like this weekend we will not be having class, Saturday Sunday, right? We will be continuing on Monday itself. Monday will be something like where I will request you to come little early. Monday, is it possible to come at 8:30 itself? If there is an issue, no problem. But if suppose everyone agrees, saying that okay, Rajesh, we will be available at 8:30 p.m. IST, so we can come up with 8:30, 9:30, 10 or 10:30, 2 hours we can sit. If in case if you are available, right? Let us even discuss in our group. Okay, let's see. Okay, so assume that on Monday we are coming at 9. So 9 to 10, 10:45, I will take the class. For few days, I'll be little bit stretching more for some 15 minutes, something like that, because we have so many things to cover. So I really wanted to cover it, right? Fine, fine. Thank you. So you have to give some extra time now, actually, only for Linux. For other topics, no, I don't require, right? So now, so Monday is something we will be working, we'll be learning many things in Linux, and continuously 3 to 4 sessions, like from Monday to Thursday, we will see that we are covering a lot of things on Linux, right? And after that, we will see many other things we'll be covering on Linux, like sed and awk programming is the one which will be covering, and many other, like scripting part will be covering. So those things. So more or less next week will be learning more onto the Linux and scripting part only, right? So that would be our agenda for next weekends, actually, right? So now, so how to create an account? So guys, whenever you want to create account, you have to just simply go to the Google and just say entire AWS account. If you just type like this, you're going to get this. Like for example, sign up page, like aws.amazon.com. This is a website. You have to just click on it. Right. So it says that if you're already having an account, you can sign into the console, right? So we use the word known as a console, actually, right? Right. We use the word known as a console, whereas in case of Azure, we use something as a portal. We use a portal login in Azure, and here we call it the console login, right? So we have to log in with our username and the password, whatever we give during creation. Say, for example, I want to log into the AWS, right? I already have an account. What I will do, I'll just say sign into the console. So I'll click on this. So it will take me to the page where you have to give the credentials, your username and the password. Let me give the username and the password. So it says that, okay, it says that you have to sign in as an IAM user, but I need to sign in as a root user. So can you see sign in using a root user? Yeah, you have to click on this, and then like that, then you will get two options like this: root user, IAM user. Right now, I'm not logging as an IAM user. What is it? We'll see it later. Now I'm trying to log in as a root user only. So let me give my email ID. So this is my email ID. I will click on this next. It'll ask me for the password. I'll give the password. So this is already account which is already created, guys. You need not to worry it. So it is something like you have to give some email ID and password. You could see that this is what you have logged in. And once you log in it, can you see it's a console home page? It says that. So as soon as you log in, you will get a home page of your AWS account. So this is what typically the home page it looks like, right? And you can search for any services here by clicking here. If you click on the services page, you could see that you will get so many services like this, right? You'll get all these services. So if you click on this all services, right, and view all services, now you could see that in a single page, you can see able to see all the services which is provided by your AWS cloud. So you could see that there are various sections are there, like compute, quantum technology, management, governance, security and compliance, container, storage, database, media. So like that, machine learning, developer tools like this. So we will be like in our session, like, and the part B, we will be covering many of these services as a part of AWS. When you're learning AWS, we have to learn all those services. Similarly with the AWS also, sorry, similarly with the Azure also. Azure also, there are many services are there. right? You will be learning all those services. You could see roughly, if you see it, actually, there are more than 200 plus services are there in AWS, where like at least minimum, whenever you want to enter into DevOps and cloud and you want to learn or you want to work on AWS, you should have a minimum something around from 35 to 40 services. You should know how it works. And also, if there is an involvement of user, you are doing it as an automation, you should also know how to automate it. So those things as part of cloud, you should know. So as part of our course, at the end of the part B, I'll be covering around some 20 to 25 services, right? Or most used services which we use in industry, right? Those things I'm going to cover in the session, right? So our whole 1 month will be there only on AWS only, right? The last 1 month of our part B will be on AWS. And I will see if I am able to do. Sir, does Azure also provides free tier? Yes, it also provides, sir. I will discuss about that after some time, in some time. Don't worry that, right? All the cloud service providers, they will give from some free tier actually, so that you can start using that cloud. Why? Because why they give the free tier? Because that you have to see how that services works. Suppose you want to do some kind of a hands-on, they have to provide you some kind of a free tier where you can do some experiment, right? So that's the reason every cloud provides, they provides all those free tier for some period or for some hours or for some amount of money, right? Say for example, in case of our AWS Azure, right? Azure will give you something like $200 like free tier. It is almost equivalent to something like 16,000 rupees in INR. So that much of amount they will give you, they'll credit to you, so that you can use that Azure services, everything, till you are not completing that whole 16,000 rupees, right, from your account, right? So they will give a time of 1 month. Within 1 month, you need to completely spend or you need to completely finish that 16,000 rupees INR, or $200 or $220, whatever. If you're not using it, it will get expired. After 1 month, you will see that that account will get, I mean, that subscription will get expired. You'll not be able to use it. So like that, many different cloud providers, they provide these free services. Many of them will provide even for 1 year, up to 1 year they will provide. Say for example, Azure and AWS, there are many services are there which they will provide for 1 year free service. After that, it will be chargeable. There are many services are there in AWS and Azure which are free for lifetime. They will not charge anything for that services like that. So what are those things? I will discuss it later. Now, coming back here, so this is the console page, guys, which we will be trying to understand later. And also in our entire DevOps series, whatever we learn the tools, right, I have to log into the AWS account and I have to create some kind of resources or virtual machine to show all kind of hands-on or demo or or else whatever I want to showcase, right? I need some kind of resource or virtual machine to showcase you. So the whole entire DevOps course, right, you will see that I will be using more or less the AWS itself. And also in between, I will also use Azure also. I'm not saying that I will not use Azure. Azure also, I will use it. Both this cloud, I will be parallelly, I will be going through. So you need to understand how exactly, as an end user, I have to use this AWS accounts or Azure cloud accounts. You have to know it, because now you will be start practicing at your home, at your workplace or at your home place, right? So you need to have an account, guys. That is very much mandatory. Without this, you cannot do, I mean, you cannot do any practice actually. You have to have an AWS account and you have to log in and you have to start working on it. So what happened, right? Initially, a lot of people don't have an habit of logging into it and create the VM and all, right? They'll feel hesitated or they feel something not difficult. In Hindi, we say also alsipan. Alsipan means laziness. So a lot of people have seen that they're very lazy even to log into the account also, and to create the servers and to log in and start doing. So you need to remove all those laziness from you, and you should start doing it. You should start working. You have to push yourself to log into the AWS account, create the virtual machine or create all the resources and start working or start using on it. This is what I request from everyone. Right? Earlier, even I was like that only. I was very much lazy in learning or doing it. Later, I understood like laziness will not work out for a long time. You have to be very active. So you have to be active. You need to create an account, start using that account effectively. Clear? Clear? Clear, guys? So now, okay, coming back here, let me log out it because I've already logged into some account. So this is my friend's account who gave me, right? So I'm using his accounts. So that's the reason I logged into this account and showing you, right? So this is not my account. This is my friend's account. Okay. Now he says that actually that, so you have to go with this free trial, right? He said that you have to sign up. Okay. Let me open this link. So it say that create a free account actually, right? He said that create a free account. So I'll do one thing. I'll just click on this, create a free account. So guys, here what happened, right? There is a page, it will come where it will ask you for my card details, like credit card or debit card. What I'll be doing that I will be stopping my sharing so that you can't see it. I will just try to enter all the details of my credit card. So once I give the details, once I proceed further, what happens, then again I will share the screen. Right. So I don't have any mechanism to hide or blur that whatever I'm typing. That I don't know how to do it. Later I will learn that how to blur it. Suppose if I'm giving a credit card details, right? That thing should get blurred actually. So I will see how to make it blur. So that I can't do it now. I can't experiment. But anyhow, anyhow, I will stop the sharing and then this recording is there. You can hear whatever I'm saying. So you'll be after some time you will see that I will turn on this. I'll turn on the sharing again. Is it fine? Right? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So thank you. Okay, now, so he said that you have to give some usernames, sorry, email ID. So I have an email ID, Rajesh.Devops. What is it? Batch-01, right? This is my email ID which I've created. Gmail account. Account name AWS. I will give my name Rajesh, right? And it says that verify the email ID. Yes, I'll verify it. It says that. So it has sent a verification code. So let me open my Gmail to wait whether I got any verification. Yes, I got a verification. What is it? Yes. Copy this. Provide here the verification. Sorry. What is it, guys? 706030. So let me, verify everything. Yeah, fine. Okay, it asking for the root password. So I have to give my password. So let me give some big password with a combination of all those capital letters and everything, all those things. It'll ask you my details about my phone number also, all those things. So I will continue now. Sorry, I think I gave something wrong. Still it is not matching. I think here something is missing. Sorry guys, let me give a proper password. Okay, now I think it's fine. Okay. So let it go. So it'll ask you for some few details. So I have to go. Either I can go with my person or business. So you can go with for your person own. This I can give it later. Or else if you want to give, you can go with your person usage. I'll give my full name, Rajesh Singh, and I will give my number. What is it actually? India. Right. I will give my personal number.
Can you use multiple credit card and same multiple account and same credit card?
See what happened? No, Azure, you cannot do it with Azure because Microsoft are very intelligent actually. So they have, if you are using the card, a credit card, with your number, with your mobile same number, with some other email ID, it will not allow you to create it. But whereas Amazon are very good, they are very kind-hearted people. So what they do, right? It will allow after some time it will allow. So I have created multiple accounts with the same card, but after some time. So I have just to use some different email ID with same mobile number with same card number.
Yes.
Right? Azure, you cannot do it. Once you have used some card, no, you cannot create. You cannot create with some other number with some other email ID also.
Sir, but there is a limitation for the 8 account for per debit card.
I have created multiple mans. I have created some
I
5-6
think
accounts.
from RuPay card it will not
So
allow.
there is a limitation for 8 account for per one debit card.
I have no man. I have created plenty of my accounts.
Oh,
There is no limit only. What is there? Okay, guys. So I've given my email, number and my address, home address. So it's not really required you to give all this, but still, anyway, because I'm,
yes.
I follow the ethics, so I'll give it actually. Right. So here, what it asks you for the credit card or the debit card. So I have my credit card. So let me stop the sharing. Then I will give my details and then I will proceed with giving some other details. Then here I will click on it. So by that time, I will again share you back. Okay, let me stop the sharing. So confirm me that you're not able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. So right. So let me give 47. Okay. So in case of AWS, you can give either the debit card or credit card. Any card details you can give. Okay. So you can give that. There is no problem with that. Whereas in case of Azure, you have to give your credit card details only. Debit card, it will not accept it. But sometimes some people have said that it accepts the ICICI debit card. But I tried, it is not working. Some people say that. I don't know. Okay. Fine. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
let me give my card hold name. Save the card for future. No, I don't need it. Yeah, I do have a PAN card. No, it's not really required. You have to. Let me share back the screen. Where is it, sir?
What
Share
is
this.
the problem for the ICICI credit debit card, sir?
No. I'm saying that some people have told me that you
Yes,
can
sir.
create an
Same
Azure
problem
account.
from my side.
No, I don't know. I have tried it. It's not working because I have two SDF. I have two bank accounts. One is a SDFC and other is
Rupee card will not
ICICI.
work.
Huh?
Rupee card
No,
will not.
Rupee will not work. I know Rupee will not work.
Devops,
It will only accept the
international
Mastercard.
banking.
Yeah, Mastercard or else Mastrio, that one. Rupee card it will not accept, that I know. But what I'm saying that whenever you want to create an Azure account, like you have to give the credit card details only. It will not accept any debit card details. But some people have told me that ICICI debit card it will accept it. But I tried, it is not working. So if any of you have that, like it is good actually. So okay, fine. I've given the details, guys. So let me verify it. So let me verify it. I think I will get a OTP now. Okay, it is take time. Okay, Amazon. So I will submit. I'll get the OTP. So I got the OTP. What is OTP? 9036. Yeah. So I will submit it. So yeah. So 2 rupees will be deducted from your account, right? And it will create an account for you. Confirm your identity. Yes. Rajesh Singh. Yes. Primary purpose. It is for personal use. Select the ownership. Individual. Right. So you could see that I got a message saying that 2 rupees has been deducted from our ICICI credit card. Right. And yeah, date of birth I can give. Right. I need not to give PAN card. I can give it and I can go ahead. Right. So it'll ask me for the text or the voice. So let me give my mobile number. Let me remove this. Okay, I'm very bad with this, man. What is this? B4
B47
7
2
2
small t
small t6, right?
or 6.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Yeah. So I got, yeah. So what is it? I got 9077. Continue. Right. So here what happened, right? It will show the plan. So always select the basic plan. Don't go with developer plan or business support plan because it will start, last billing, it will start billing every month now. So these are developer support where what happened that you can get some kind of a support from the AWS, right? And it's a 12 hours business and there are some details they have provided that they'll give the email support to it. We know we are students, so we need not to have that. So we'll go with the basic plan. So he will click on it and he will complete the sign up. So it says that, okay, you have been created. So usually they say that it will take 1 day of time to get activated for usage of it. That is correct. But sometime they will try to do an immediate activation. So I'll go to the management console, right? And I'll go to the console, sign in console. Sorry, I will see guys, when you try to create an account, right, with my email ID, rajesh.devops.batch01, that is my email ID, right? what happens, right? Like that will be act like your root user actually, because you created with this email ID. Right? This is what the email ID you provided. So with this, this will be acting like a root user. It means that you will get the full control of your AWS if you log in with this email ID. And there is something as an IAM user. IAM users will act like a normal user. Even you can even log in with an IAM user also. Prior that, you have to first log into this account. You become a root user, and then you can create an IAM users. And later, if you want, you can even log into the console with the help of an IAM user also. So these things and all we will see it later, right? So here, what is happening, right? We are using what we can say like one-factor authentication. We are doing one-factor authentication. One-factor authentication means what? I'm just opening the console. I'm opening the console and I'm just giving my username. This is the username, and whatever the password I given, that password. This is the one authentication. So companies, what happen usually, they won't go with the one authentication. They will go with the two authentication. It means that you need to enable the MAF authentication also. It means that as soon as you give username and the password, right, it'll send it'll ask you to provide the authentication code. So you need to install some kind of authenticator in your mobile. Say for example, Google Authenticator, or Ping ID Authenticator, or MFA Authenticator, right? Or else Microsoft Authenticator. Any of one authenticator, you have to install it. You need to configure it, and whenever you're logging it, it has to be a two-factor authentication should happen. It means that first it has to authenticate with your username and the password, and second authenticator should be MF authenticator. So this is always a best practice. I'll be showing you after some time how to enable that MF authenticator so that we will start, because it will make you more secure, right? When you try to log in it, you have to undergo two authentication. Usually in the industry, in the organization, right, there will be a three authentication. There will be there three, or you call it an SSO, right? Single sign-on service, right? So that is more secure. So that's how like SSO authentication will always happen for any kind of an app or the application which is running in the cloud environment, right? So that is what happened. That we will see it later, how all those SSO and how that single sign-on will happen, everything that we'll see it later. Clear? So now I have logged into my console. This is my AWS console, right? So now what we'll be doing here, like we have to understand that how I can create a virtual machine. Basically, guys, whenever you want to install any software or the application, we need a system or we need a computer, right? We need a computer or we need a system, right? We need a system, right? Like it's something like a server or the machine, we say. We call it as a server or the machine, right? Server or the machine, we say. Right. So this is it is something like you can consider as a laptop actually. Like it means that you need to have your own server, right? Rishi, correct? Multi-factor authentication, MFA. So now you need to create a server, and once you create a server, you should be able to log into this server. So you need to log in also. So login means what? You need to authenticate. Means you need to give some username and password to log into it, right? So how to create the virtual machines or the servers in AWS or in Azure, right? How to create this authentication, or what is the default username and password? Those things you have to understand. Now the thing is that, guys, whenever you are authenticating or whenever you log into the system, you need to provide some username and the password. Right now in Linux, whenever you log in as a root user, okay, root user, he is a super user or he is a system admin. You know about in Windows, right? Whenever you want to log in into your Windows server, right, as a super user, you have to always log in as a user with the name system as a name as an administrator. You give the username name as an administrator, and what are the password you have set, right? That password you will give it, right? Say for example, the password you have given like admin123. Some password you have given like that. Assume that the password you have given as admin123 something. So you will log into a Windows server. Now you are an administrator. You have the full control of your system with you. You have the right to manage everything your Windows operating system if you are logged in as an administrator. Similarly, so here what happened in Windows, your administrator is a super user, or we call it as a system admin. We call it as a system admin, right? Right. Similarly, in case of, this is in case of Windows, I'm saying, in case of Windows. Whereas in Linux, actually, in Linux world or in the Unix or Linux, we call it as a root user. So root user is a super user, or he's a system admin, right? So whenever you want to get a complete control of your system of the server, then you have to log in as a root user, or you have to log in as a sudo user. Sudo user is something like other users where you get some root privileges. Whatever the root permissions are there, you will get some privileges if you log in as a sudo user. So this we will see later. What is a sudo user is all about and everything. We will see it later. So now usually what happened, guys, in the real time means when you're working in the company, right? In the real time, usually what happened, right? Whenever there are a lot of servers are there, right? And if suppose somebody asks you to log into the server, you will not be logging in by providing the username and the password. So there is no mechanism that they will share the username and password to you. You have to log in. No, you will never be allowed to log in directly into any Unix server. So what they do in the industry, right? They will have one server. They have one server which they call it as something like a stager, or we call it the bastion server. This server, they will give the details to you. So they will give the details. So what they will say that, okay, Rajesh, first you need to log into the stager with your username and the password. Say, for example, I'm working in some organization where I'm having some user account, something like this, A80392. This is my username. And the password I will be giving as like Raj123, something. This is my username, this is the password. What first they will do, right? They'll first try to log into this bastion server, or else your stager will say. Once you log in it, then what happened? Automatically you can log into the other server by just doing a SSH. So by just doing an SSH, you can log into this server which you want to log in. It means that whenever you want to log in into any server, you cannot directly log in because they have disabled the password. You cannot log in with some username and password in this server directly. You have to log into some stager or the bastion server. Through that, from here you need to log into to that specific server through the SSH command. What is this SSH command? What is all about? We will see it later. Clear? Yeah, firefighter access. Yeah, whatever. What you said is right. Right. So have you heard about something like a CyberArk, something like where you will not be able to directly log into server? You need to authenticate to one server, and from there you can log into the internet server where you want to log in it. Right? Yeah, bastion server. Yes. Right. So guys, any doubts you have, you can please unmute and ask me anything. So I'm just telling in a very high level, like, so usually what happened, right? There are a lot of servers will be there in the organization where you will not get a direct access. They will never provide access at all. They will not give any username and password to log in it. They will not do that. So for security purpose, yeah.
Rajesh, for that, Bashan server replacing the some option is there in Amazon while connecting the server. It is going to connect privately.
Guys, I'm just telling in the industry how things works in industry. I'm not telling anything about the AWS now. Don't confuse the AWS. It's not like that. In AWS, I mean, you can directly log into a server. What I'm saying in the organization or in the industry, you will not get a direct access to any servers. You have to log into some server on the stager. From there, they can log into other servers. That's all. In a very high level, you have to understand. Clear?
Sorry.
Yeah, Bhima, do you have any doubts? Is it clear for you?
Yeah, clear. But that is also privately we can connect and private and going to private network only.
Correct. But what happened? Again, what happened? No, you see, you cannot manage so many user accounts with so many passwords to log in, right? It's not possible. So what they will do that they will create one server where they will provide your credential data. You will be given some username and the password. So generally the username and the password will be your email ID and the and your login credentials, whatever you use it, that would be the username and password which will be configured in that server. From there, you can automatically log into any server which you want. So all these servers and all will be there in the private network only, or it will be there in the private subnet only. If you get into the company, all the servers will be there in the private network only, no doubt. So you can log in, you can authenticate to any of the servers which you need it, right? Which is right through the stager or through the bastion only. That's all you have to understand at this point of time. Yes, right. Only some set of people, or else you can see that the system admin, whoever are managing this servers, only they will have the root credentials, right? They will be only able to log in it. Or else sometime what happened, right? Suppose some case, in some case where you need a root access actually. You need a root access in the server. Even though all these days I'm logging with this my username A80392 in the same server. But assume that actually you want some root access. Why? Because you need to install some package. Say, for example, you want to install or you need to configure in this server, you need to configure Jenkins server. I'm just saying. So then what happened? You need to have a root access. Without a root access or without a sudo server access, you will not be able to install any package. In that case, what happened, right? You need to raise a ticket. You need to raise a ticket to the Unix team. Raise a ticket to the Unix team. There is a team will be the Unix team will be sitting, right? So what happened, right? You have to give the details about like why you need a root access. You need to give the details. Okay, I need to go and install the Jenkins server. That's the reason I need a root access. And without a root user, I cannot install it. You will give the justification of why we need a root access. So what happened? Ultimately, your manager will approve your ticket. Once he approves the ticket, right, one that will go to the Unix team. And Unix team, what they will do, no, they will say, okay, fine, this fellow needs the root access. So temporarily, what they will do, no, temporarily, they will allow him to log in as a root user. So they will give some default, they'll give the username, root username, and they will give, like some dummy password they will give so that you'll be able to log into this server as a root user, or you can switch to the root user for some time. Say, for example, for 48 hours, they will give you the time to you. After the 48 hours is expired, right? You cannot log in as a root user. So in that 48 hours, you have to do whatever you want, right? So this provision is there in every industry or every organization. Yeah, that's correct, Ram. I will be discussing all those things. Don't worry. Yes. Whatever Ram is sending, right, it is correct only. So did you understood this, guys? There is something like where there is some ticketing system is there where you will raise it, the ticket, and something will happen in the back end and you will get a root access. So this is all fine. I'm just telling in a very high level. Okay, don't think. So right now, what I'm trying to understand is that actually whenever you get any system, it could be Windows or Linux or anything, we should be able to log into that system. So usually what happened, you will be given some kind of a credentials. So you'll be given some username and will be given some passwords. But generally in an organization, they will avoid to give the password because giving a password directly to an end user is not secure. So what they will do that, they will try to make you to log into one server which got a stager. Through that stager, you can log into any other server. That provision, they will do it. Is it clear? Now, coming back here, what AWS will do, what AWS does it, AWS will it disables the login to the server with username and password. It will, by default, the AWS, what they have did, right, they will disable any user to log in with the username and the password because there is no concept of password here. You cannot create any password for the servers when you're creating freshly. So whenever I'm creating any servers freshly, there is no provision to provide a password. Whereas in AWS, whereas in case of an Azure, while creating a server, there's a provision that you can even create a username and with the password you can create, or else username with the key. So what they have did in case of AWS, right? They have disabled the password, and what they have did, right? You can create while creating VM virtual machine in AWS account, you can create with the help of username and the key. and the key. And that key is not, but we call it as a .pem key or .pem key as an extension. This is what you have. It means that you need to create some kind of a key. With the help of a key, you will be able to log into that server. So there are various mechanisms are there to log into the server. First mechanism, plainly give your username and the password. You can log into.
Sir, sorry for interrupting. I just missed that Azure part. So Azure doesn't have the key, you meant, right?
No, Azure has both. I'm saying you can log in while creating. You can choose either you can choose to provide a password or else you can choose to give a key. So you can log into any kind of a VMs in Azure either with the help of a username and the password or else user with the key.
Okay.
Both it allows. I'm saying.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
So why AWS is not doing that? Because I mean they are maintaining the security. This is how they have designed it. They say that this is how we are designed. Whenever you want to log into any server, you have to have a key man. I will not allow you to log into the directly at the very beginning. I will not allow you to log in into the server by using some user and password. It doesn't allow. Later you can change it. You can create a password and you can edit some configuration file and you can make sure that you can log in with the username and password. That is fine. Later you can do that. But by default, while creating, it will not provide any kind of an option to give a password. So you can only give a key as an authentication method. So in an organization, whenever you log into the server, you can log in with the username and the password. You can log in with the username and the key, right? You can log in with some username and some secret file. You can even log in with the username and the vault key. There are various mechanisms are there to log into the server. Any one method you can use it. So what is it? Username and the password. That is what naturally a lot of people will do it. Apart from that, username and the key. That is a PEM key or some kind of a key, right? You can log into it. You can even log in with the username and the secret key or secret file key. You can even log in with the user key with the vault key. So there are various mechanisms are there. So industry can use any one of this mechanism to log in into the server. Is it clear? Does it sound interesting?
Yes, please.
Mahesh sir, do you have any question here? Abhishek? Niranjan, any question you have?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, good. Now, so why I told all these things, because like when I'm creating a virtual machine by using some service in AWS, you could see that I cannot create a password for that. Whenever I'm creating a virtual machine, you have to give a key. So that's the reason I told all this story. And by default, it will not allow the user to log in as a root user. So what they did right in AWS, they have disabled, what is it? They have disabled the password authentication. And they have disabled the root login by default. For any Unix or Linux machine, right? They have disabled it in AWS. The same thing is not with in Azure. Azure, they have not restricted with all these things. You can log in directly as a root user with the password what you provide when you're creating the service in Azure. That, I mean, they're not bothered about it, but here in AWS, they have disabled it. So later what happened that you can see that whenever you want to enable the root login, right? Or whenever you want to enable the password authentication and everything, right? There is one configuration file is there. I'm just telling you now, etc SSD config file. This is the file where you need to edit, where you need to do changes to enable the password authentication. Enable. Earlier it is disabled. Now you can go and you can do it. And even enable root login. We will see all these things later. Don't worry. For information, I'm saying now. So sometime in interview, they'll ask you, okay, which is the configuration file where you can do all those changes, right? You have to say etc SSD_config. No, it is not SSD. I think it is SSH. We will see now. SSD_config. So this is the file you need to go and edit it. Clear? Is it clear, guys? I know I'm bringing a lot of things now, but just try to understand in the very high level. We will be again, I'll be doing the same thing. Again, the same thing will be repeating again and again in every session, in every tool, wherever it comes from. I have to repeat the same thing again. By the time when you finish the course, you would have already mugged up all these things. Right? So now, any questions do you have till here? Anki Reddy, do you have any questions? Anurag?
Sir?
No,
Yes.
Rajesh.
Okay, great. Yeah, somebody said, Niranjan?
Sir, you'll be explaining SSH detail now, sir. Not now. I mean to say in the next part.
Yeah, I have to explain it. But again, what happened now, Niranjan? Like it'll take some time, because in my channel, one of the videos, 1.5 hours, I have detailedly explained about how SSH works. So
Okay,
I would recommend you all to go to that video and see it. Actually.
Sure, sir.
I will give the video number also, and I would say that please watch that. That is 1.5 hours videos. You have to completely watch it.
Okay.
And then come up and ask me the doubts if you have. I don't think that you will get any kind of a doubt after watching that video. That video is exclusively on SSH only.
Sure, sir. If possible, please share that number. I will not.
Yeah, I'll do it. Don't worry. In front of you, like I will show. I'll show which videos you have to watch.
Thank you, sir. Because I have more doubts on SSHD only.
Yeah. That everything is clear, sir. If you watch that video, your doubts, everything will get cleared.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. So now what we'll do, guys. So now, whenever in AWS or in Azure, whenever you want to create any resources, see, whenever you want to have anything, say for example, Rajesh, I need a virtual machine, or I need a storage, or I need a networking. So all those things you can create in AWS. We call it as a resources. Whenever you want to create any kind of a requirement where a user want to have, right, we need to create the resources in AWS or Azure. And how you can create those resources? With the help of services. Have you heard of something like a platform as service, database as a service, music as a service, storage as a service? Have you heard about these words?
Yes.
So it means that in today, everything is a service. Function as a service. Right? SaaS, storage as a service, software as a service. It means that nowadays what happened, every provider, cloud provider, they'll give you a service. They'll say that this is a service, you take it. Okay, it will be like billable. So it will be per hour billable, and you will get the bill if you are using this service. It's same thing like in our home, right? We have electric meter, right? So it's based on our consumption, we get the bill. Usually in the summer, we'll get high bill because we use ACs, air conditioner, and many other things, right? When it comes to the cold season, right? In your winter season, we don't use much the ACs and all, right? Our bill will come drastically down. It's same thing like that. All these cloud providers, they provide some kind of a services, and all are billable. It depends upon the usage. You use more, you'll get more bill. If you're not using, zero bill. Something like that. And you can create any resources in AWS. Yeah, that's what etc SSH. That's what I missed it actually. That's what I said at etc SSH, not SSD. etc SSD underscore com. This is the file actually, right? Yeah. Now what I'm trying to tell that you want to create any resource, there is some services is there. So in case of AWS, whenever I want to create a virtual machine, you have to use a service by name EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute. We say, what is it, guys? What is it? Most of you already know this. I'm just saying that Elastic Cloud Compute Service. This is a service name through which you can create a virtual machine. So now let us see now how to create a virtual machine. So go back here. So here you could see that whenever you want to search for any service, you have to always go with the search option, and you have to just type EC2. Can you see here? It is showing EC2 like this. Oh, okay, this is a service. He'll give a description, virtual server in cloud. Oh, it means that whenever I want to create any virtual machines, you have to use this service. Either you can go with this way, or else what happened, right? There is something like a services. Click on the services and click on all services, view all services. And if you see that there is some category by name compute, under that you have EC2. So you could see that under the compute, you have something like EC2, Lightsail, Lambda, Batch, Elastic Bin, Serverless Application Repository. These are all the different services, right? These are all comes under the category of compute. So you might ask, Rajesh, is there any relation with the EC2 and sale or lambda or something, yes, there is some other direct or indirect relation is there. That's what most all this I'm sorry. All these services are categorized into the compute service or compute category. Similarly, if you come down, can you see here something? Where is it, guys? Network and content delivery. Yeah, this is the category name. But under this category, can you see VPC, CloudFront, Route 53, API Gateway, Direct Connect, blah, 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 AWS Private 5G. Yeah, these are. So, Rajesh, is there any relation with this service? Yes, there is a relation. That's what all these are been grouped and they are into this category. So now what happened? If suppose somebody asks you simply, right, hey, on which category the EC2 comes, immediately you have to say as a compute. Okay. Rajesh, there's something AWS guard duty, under which it comes security and identity and compliance. Can you see AWS guard duty? See, guard duty. Okay. AWS WAFA service, WF WAFA service, it comes under the same WAFA and Shield. Right? Like that, where is a SageMaker, SageMaker? Come down here somewhere in case of machine learning. See, there's a Amazon SageMaker is there. So what I'm trying to tell that when you are effectively learning the cloud, you should also understand or you should also remember like that service comes under which category? Oh, it's a machine learning category. Okay. Clear? So you need to have all such information. It means that when you start using it effectively, you will automatically remember all those things. You need not to even mug up also. You will remember everything. Right? So now what happened, right? We have to create a server, guys. You have to go to the EC2 instance, right? Click on this EC2 instance. So you could see that it will take you to the home page where it is showing something like an EC2 global view. You need not to worry all these things as of now. Okay. So as of now, you could see that something like you can launch the instance. You can get started by launching EC2. You can directly go over here, or as what I would recommend that you have to go and you have to click on this instance running here. Right. So it takes you to the page. Now, one thing very important, guys, whenever you're using the services, like in case of a compute service, I'm using EC2 services. When you're using EC2 services, it'll always say that you are under which region. So what is this region? What is this like global region is all about? Everything we have to discuss it. As of now, I'll not be able to cover all these things because it's a separate topic which I have to cover. Just try to understand that whenever we are creating an EC2 server, you have to create under some region. So here, by default, it is taking something in northern region, Northern Virginia. Now, if you try to click or expand this, okay, if you see that these are all the different regions we have it. But if you see it, can you see there's something like Asia Pacific, Mumbai, APF and South 1? So can I go to this region and create a virtual machine? Yes, you can go and create it. Anywhere you can go and create it. Fine. One question will come, Rajesh, is the pricing is same? Like when I'm creating a virtual machine, is the pricing is same something or else how is it? I will discuss after some time all these things. Don't worry about the pricing and all, right? Right now, we have to just understand that whenever I'm creating any virtual machine or by using a EC2 service, I have to be in some region. It depends upon the user requirement. Say, for example, I want to create an Asia Pacific Mumbai region. So I have to be under the Mumbai region. See, if I click on this, I get into the Mumbai region. Here I can start creating a virtual machine. Similarly, if somebody want to create any virtual machine on the Northern California or Oregon, they have to switch to this region and they have to start creating these virtual machines. So it's all depend upon the projects and everything that wherever you want to create. So you will in all kind of a design document or wherever, right? You follow the documentation to implement something. They have given that okay, and that particular region only you have to go and create a server like that. Okay. Now what I will do at this point of time, because we all are staying in India, most of us, what I'll do, I'll go with the Asia Pacific, Mumbai region, and then here I will try to create a server. Now you could see that there's a launch instance is there. Go and click on the launch instance. And then you could see that actually it will be showing you some kind of a menu where you have to give some entry to create a server actually. So what are those details? It asks you to give some name of the server. It is something like a tag or a name which you give. Right. So I can give anything. I'll just say something as a first server because I'm creating a first time, right? Let me create this. Let me give a tag name or let me give the name as a first server. It can be anything. You can give your own name, but always give some meaningful name always, right? Don't give some other name, right? Don't give some, like useful name or the valid name like that. So I'm giving the name as a first server. Okay, come down. So guys, whenever we are creating a server, always you need to provide like which is the operating system you need it actually. Which is the operating system unit, because I'm using Linux actually. I'm using a Linux actually, right? I'm using a Linux. You can choose any flavor of Linux. So what are these flavors and all, we will discuss later. So in the Linux, actually, there are a lot of flavors are there. Like, for example, you have a Red Hat Linux. We have a CentOS Linux, right? We have a Ubuntu Linux, right? As well as what are the other things we have? We have a Red Hat, Ubuntu, and SUSE Linux, right? There are many other Linux are there, like, but usually most of the Linux falls under this four different distributions actually, right? Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, and SUSE. These are the most famous. Apart from this, there is many other distributions are there. Like, for example, you have a Knoppix actually, right? Fedora, yes. Kali Linux. There are many are there.
Kali Linux.
Yeah, lot of are there. But usually what happened, right? You will go with some standard distribution, that is Red Hat, CentOS, or Ubuntu, or SUSE. Most of the organization, 90% of the organizations, they always use Red Hat as their Linux servers. It means they'll always go with the Red Hat distribution because you will get a lot of support from the Red Hat organization on that. So that's the reason companies go, whenever you are going with an enterprise Linux edition, you will always choose a Red Hat Linux. So Red Hat, or we call it as an RHEL. What do we call? We call it an RHEL. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, we say RHEL, right? So if you come back here, you could see that actually you're having a various flavors of Linux. You can go with the Ubuntu, you can go with the Red Hat, you can go with the SUSE, right? You have many other operating system. Like you have a AWS itself will provide its own Linux. We call it an Amazon Linux. We'll be using even Amazon Linux also in our class most of the time. You will see that when I'm teaching Ansible, I might choose the whole Ansible session on Amazon Linux itself, right? That I will do it, right? When I'm taking Jenkins, I will take everything I'll be teaching on Ubuntu, right? When I'm explaining Docker, I might take a Red Hat. So any distribution I can take, I can work on it. Clear? So right now, as of now, what I will do for this session, I will try to go with Ubuntu. So when I click on the Ubuntu, it shows you that what is the Ubuntu version you have. You have latest version was the 24.04. If you just expand it, you could see that Ubuntu 24.04 LTS, 22.04, Ubuntu Pro, Ubuntu Server. There are many other flavors are there, which we'll be seeing it later. But right now, just try to blindly understand what I'm saying, that you just try to select the latest Ubuntu 22.04. And it should always be under the free trial eligible. It means that this is something. So you might ask, Rajesh, what is this all about? It says that Amazon machine image. Right? Have you heard of something as an ISO image? So what is ISO image, sir? Can anyone tell me?
To install softwares and all initially while
To install a software while kind of a CD.
Install operating
it's an
system.
image.
Mahesh, what is that? To install the operating system,
Operating
right?
system, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Windows or Linux, right? You have an ISO image, right? Right. So ISO image basically it's a bootable image. It's a bootable image. You can install this ISO image in any storage. Either it could be in hard drive, right? Sometimes you can even you can burn even in the DVD drive, right? You can even burn in a flash drive. Say if you take a pen drive and you partition the pen drive, you can even install your ISO image even in the pen drive also. You can make a whole pen drive as a bootable image. You can take a pen drive anywhere, you plug into any server, many machine, you can boot that operating system. So ISO image, we call it as a bootable image. Similarly, in case of an Amazon, we call it as an AMI image because Amazon machine image with it. Right? So ISO image or AMI both are one and the same. Don't get confused. So here, if you come over here, in case, can you see here? Amazon machine image, they say AMI. This Ubuntu 24.04 is an AMI image. So it means that when you have a server, when you have a machine, this is a raw machine actually. This is something like a raw machine which you will get it. In this raw machine, which has your motherboard, you know about the motherboard and all, right? Which has a motherboard, which has all kind of a chipset motherboard. What it has, guys? It has something like a CPU will be there, right? It will be having a RAM memory, right? It has many other peripheral devices will be there, right? so many devices will be there in the motherboard. This is a raw machine. It is like a physical server. Now what happened, right? Whenever you want to load an operating system or you want to run an operating system, then you need an image. Then you need an image. That image, it can be an ISO image or it can be an AM image. Now it means that now when I'm creating a server of the machine, you need to give some image. Right? Now, if you remember in the core syllabus, what we told that, Rajesh, you said that something you told about that you are taking one topic on the Terraform and Packer. Okay, we understood about Terraform, but what is this Packer is all about? Packer is something like, suppose you want to build a customized image. You want to build a customized AMI image. You want to build your own customized AMI image, then you can use a Packer tool to build it. That is what, this is also one of the important tools, Packer to build it. And Packer is a AWS complete tool. Right? Did you understood, sir? Now, why Packer we are using? Whenever you want to build your own customized AMI image or the ISO image, whatever, or bootable image, then Packer tool is used. Clear? We'll be learning that later, how to do it, everything, right? Now, what happened, right? You need to provide an AMI image. That's what you have to select here. I'm giving an image as Ubuntu. Fine, good, very good. Now, come down. You say that, okay, which is the architecture? Don't do anything that it will say that it is 64-bit x86 architecture, ARM architecture. It has to be an x86 architecture itself, right? So this one, you don't disturb any of this value. Come down. So here you have an instance type. Don't worry about instance type as of now. We will cover it later in detail. Now, right now it is showing that it has a t2.micro as an instance type and it is under the free trial. So one thing you have to always make sure that because you are a newbie, you are a learner, you are practicing everything onto the cloud environment, right? Always you have to go with the free trial eligible only. Don't choose any other options here or any other things. Don't select it. Wherever you see free trial eligible, only you have to select that. Say, for example, if you go up here, can you see Ubuntu server 22.04 free trial eligible? Yeah, you have to select that. Don't select other things. Say, for example, apart from other things, if you select it, all these are chargeable. You will get a billing. So please make sure that you should always go with the free trial eligibility only. So you have to select this one, free trial eligibility, come down instance type, free trial eligibility, which is t2.micro. So here it is giving you the hardware or the server's configuration. What is it giving? It says that, Rajesh, it comes under the t2.family. We will see that what is it later. Oh, it is giving me one virtual CPU and one GB of RAM memory. That's all it is giving. And it is free trial. It means that I will not get any bill if I'm using this instance type. I know many of you already know this, but still some of them are very new to this. For them, I'm just addressing. Others, I would have gone very fast in creating the server, right? So, right? So guys, any doubt you have till here? Something is going in your mind? Any question, any confusion or questions you have here?
What is the between ARM and
Sir, ARM is a processor, sir. ARM is a processor, x86 is a processor. There are various different processor architectures are there. RISC architecture, Sparks architecture, x86 architecture, IA64 architecture, Intel's A64 architecture, Motorola's iRISC architecture. Like that, we have various architectures are there. But in the industry, standard industry, we use always x86 as an architecture. It is a processor architecture. ARM is an architecture, right? Have you heard about you know that in our mobile, right? In our mobile, whatever we use it, right? iPhone or Android mobile or any Chinese mobile, right? Inside this mobile, right? We have an ARM processor, ARM processor. ARM processors are faster than the x86 processor, right? So here what happened, I'm using a general purpose. I don't need to go with the ARM processor, ARM architectures. I have to only go with the x86 architecture. Clear? It's a good question because nobody usually asks such questions because they're not really bothered about to know all those things. Why you have to be bothered, man? When Rajesh is saying select x86 only fine. But why they have given, the AWS has given you to even go with ARM also? Yes, we required it sometime. Right? Sometimes what happened, right? You are doing some kind of a development activity. A developer is doing, he need a customized environment where he can develop the application. Like for example, he's developing some Android-based application, or he's working on some operating system level. He's working, so he need to choose the ARM architecture. So for the developer, always they will choose the ARM architecture. For the general purpose, we always go with XAT. Simple.
So is it chargeable or free, sir? The ARM architecture? Or?
ARM, see, this is coming under the free trial. You can either deploy this in x86 ARM. It doesn't matter. It is free only. So when you choose x86 architecture, automatically what the AWS will do that? AWS will see that where exactly we have a hardware where there is an ARM processor will be there. So there it will take that image and deploy into that ARM architecture processor. So here what happened? Whatever we are having this server, whatever this having a raw hardware, this is a x86 hardware. x86 architecture CPU. That's it. So because our CPU is an x86 architecture CPU, that's what. If you select ARM64, it will choose some other hardware. Automatically choose some other hardware where the processor type is your ARM processor. Actually, it could be ARM9, it could be ARM11. Generally, what the AWS will do, or what the Amazon or Azure will do, that actually they will always provide the latest hardware, whatever it is there in the market, that itself they'll provide to you. Right? Say for example, today I have chosen. I went to the market and I bought a Lenovo, right? And I go with the i7, 12th generation CPU processor I went. So I'm happily using my laptop, right? I'm happy. After 6 months, right? You will see that with the same conversation, they'll say that 14th generation or 15th generation has come. Do you think that you can go and upgrade your hardware and all? It is very costly, right? Because you have to go and you have to completely replace your processor, right? With the latest one, right? So as an end user, I cannot invest so much money in doing that. Whereas these cloud providers, right, they can aramse do that actually, because that is what the latest feature, what they provide in their data centers. When they provide to the end user, they will provide with the latest processor only. This is one of the advantage if you are working in the cloud. If you are doing all your work activity in the cloud, the AWS or your Azure or your GCP will provide you the best hardware which is available right now in the market. This is one of the intro question you have to tell, right? Why you are moving to the cloud base? You will, all those hardware dependencies, everything you can able to easily achieve through the cloud computing, right? You cannot achieve through your own data center. Suppose you're having an on-premises, you might be having older servers, right? Tomorrow, if there is a requirement comes that all your application has to be migrated to the new servers or to the latest hardware, right? You have to again invest the money. Again, the capex, whatever the money you have to invest, you have to invest it. Whereas in cloud, you need not to worry it. Right? So do you agree with this statement, guys, everyone? What are I'm saying? All these are very minute things, but it is very important to understand it. Clear? Any questions? Anurag and other people, guys? Kailash, Mahesh, Jaiprakash? Milind, are you understanding?
Yes, sir. Good teaching, sir.
No, but whatever I'm saying, it's very important, sir. I'm telling you some small pieces of information, but that is important. You have to always keep in mind whatever I'm saying, or you have to note it down.
Yes, sir.
Or watch this video again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, good. Now coming back here. Go to this. So guys, I'm taking some more time today, a little time more I'm taking to explain, but it is required now because moving forward, I will not explain all this thing. Directly I'll go and I'll create a server. You need to understand by default whatever I'm doing, right? First day, it might take some time, right? Now, come down here. Okay, I know to select this. I have to go with the, see here, when I'm creating, I'm choosing the x86 ARM, right? I'm not getting any free trial, right? See, it is showing me that you can run this ARM architecture with this instance type, either with the T4G.nano or either with this only. See, that's how I was trying to tell. It doesn't work out it will work out in that specific hardware configuration only. So I'm not going with that. I will go with the x86. Right? So x86 processor, I'll go the T2.micro. Come down here. It is saying you that now you could see that, as I said earlier, that whenever you want to create a server and whenever you want to log in it, you cannot log in through the password. They have disabled the password authentication. So it means that it is asking you to provide a key or you have to create a key. Suppose you already have a key, you can use that existing key, or if you don't have a key, you have to always create a key, right? So now here what is happening, that it is giving an option of creating a first key or creating a new key pair. So you have to create it. So let me click on this. So whenever you click on the create key, it will ask you to give a name. So I'll give something like a anything. I'll give the name as a first key, right? First key, and then like let it be the key pair be RSA. We will understand what is this ED255 after some time, but let it be RSA encryption key. And there are two methods are there to have a key. One is a PEM and other is a PPK. Let it be always be PEM itself. Don't select this PPK file. Always let it be PEM only. Why? We will discuss it later. But right now, I'm creating a key. So create key is something like you need to provide during authentication. When you log into the server, you need to provide this key. The key name is first key or anything. I can give my own name also, Rajesh, as a key. But let me give the name as first key, something, right? And then create a key. So as soon as you click on it, you could see that it has downloaded that key. It has downloaded key. Right, it has downloaded the key. So you could see that it has downloaded the key, and this key is having an extension is a .pem. So this is the file, or this is the key which I need for authenticating into that server. So go here. Now it has been done. You have been selected the first key. Come down. Here it is asking for some network settings. Don't worry as of now. You can take it as a default one, whatever it is there. Fine. So let the VPC be as it is. Let the subnet choose its own. Auto assign public IP, let it be enabled. So select default thing what is given. Don't do any changes over here. Later I will tell you about this, right? And if you come down here, there's something like a security group. So you need to create, or you need to assign what should be the security groups which you're using. So it says that security groups are nothing but it's like a firewalls. So whatever the firewalls we have, right? For some people, if you don't know what is a firewall, I will come back to this when I'm teaching Linux. What is a firewall and all? We will discuss this. Right now, something you understand that like if you go to any club or something, right, there is something like a bodyguards will be stand in the front of the if you're going for any kind of a disco or any pub you are going, right, you could see that some we call with some name, right? What is the name we say for them? Bouncer. Bouncer, right? Yeah, correct. So they'll be standing, right? So if you have a pass, then only they'll allow you to go inside. If you don't have a pass, they'll not allow. It's same thing like that. If you have a proper firewall rules are been set, then only it will allow you to enter into the server. If you don't have that permission, it will not allow. Something like that you have to understand. So firewall is something like that. We will discuss about this in a very in detail later. But right now, understand that you need to set some kind of a firewall rules, or you need to create a firewall settings you have to do. So it says that you can either go with the selected one or you can create a new secret group. So I'll go with a new secret group here. So select this and come down. Right, select this, allow SSH to anywhere, right? This is okay, fine. So anywhere, fine. And then allow HTTP traffic from the internet, allow HTTP for traffic from the internet. I mean, this is fine for me, okay? And right, create a secret group. So what is the name it is giving? It is taking the name as a launch wizard one. Later you can even change it also. Suppose if you click over here in edit, and if you come down here, you could see that it is giving some name, right? So you are creating a security group with this name, or else I can create my own. So something like a some name you can give, like something like my first security group, SG, my first security group, like some name you are giving, my first security group. SG means security group. The same name you can give as a description also. Copy it and paste it, right? And then he's saying that okay, SSH, TCP, anywhere he's saying okay, this is fine. Anything else is required? Nothing, sir. Come down. It is by default it is taking you some storage. Okay, let it be as it is. And is there anything is required? Nothing, sir. You have to just say launch this. So once you launch it, it means that you are trying to create a server. Go to the instances. Here it will show you that you have launched one server with the name as a first server, and you could see that actually it is still in a pending state. This instance state, it should come into the running. So when it comes to running, it means that the servers are up. See, can you see that the server is in a running state? It has come to running state. It will take some time to get initialized. That's what you could see, that the status it is showing is initialized. So wait for some time, right? No doubt you can log into the server. Okay. Right now, Now what happened, guys? You have created a server here actually, right? This is the virtual machine which you have created by using a EC2 service, right? And we saw the step. We clicked on this launch instance like this, and then we give all the details, and finally we just say launch instance. Once you click on this, it will try to create the server, right? We will be doing this exercise again and again. Okay, there's no issue in that, and we will see how it goes, right? Because we'll be learning many things in this server itself, right? So now what happened, right? In our case, what we did, right? We have chosen the Ubuntu as our uh, Linux type, right? And we have chosen something like a Linux Ubuntu 22.04, something like that. We have chosen, right? It is an AMI image we have chosen, fine. And then we have launched the instance. And while launching the instance, we have created the key, and the key name is something like a first key, which we created. So this is the key it is created. Now, what AWS says that whenever you want to log into this Ubuntu server, the default username is Ubuntu. So whenever you're creating a Ubuntu instance, it says that you can log into the server what you have created with the help of a default username by name Ubuntu, and the password is something like this is the key. What are the key you are given, right? So whenever you want to log into this server, you need to provide the username as Ubuntu, and the password. We are not giving the password, we are giving authentication as a key. So what is the key? First key. Whatever the key which you have created, right? That's what you are trying to give that key for logging into it. Now, how you can connect to any server, right? Because this server is in your AWS account, and this is a Linux server. How you can connect to this server? You can connect to the server with the help of a public IP. So when you click on this, guys, you could see that here every server has a public IP and a private IP address, right? What is public IP and private IP? We will try to understand later, but right now just understand that whenever I want to log into any server, I need a public IP. So this is a public IP. With the help of the public IP, I will be able to log into this server. Fair on. Okay, I need some public IP. So public IP in this case is this is a public IP, right? And whenever you want to log into Linux machine, right? And you are into the Windows operating system. Can you see here? This my server or this my laptop is a Windows operating system, right? So whenever you are into the Linux or Windows operating system and you want to log into any Linux server, all right? Whenever you want to log into the Linux server, how you can log in it? There are some third-party softwares are there. What is it? Some third-party softwares. By using the third-party softwares only, you need to able to log into the Linux server. So what are those third-party software? What we're using is a putty. Some people call it a putty. You can use a super putty, MobiXterm, like that. There are many third-party software which you need to download and install and keep it. And using this, any one of the third-party software, you can log into any Linux machine. So most of the time you will see in the organization, like people will be using a putty or the putty or else MobiXterm always. So what we have to do in our laptop when you are practicing, right? You need to download and install some few software. What are the some few softwares you have to download and install it? So
Git bash.
right. One is a putty. Second is a putty gen. Gen we say putty gen. Third is nothing but your what is it?
Git bash.
Yes, Git bash you have to download, and the fourth is nothing but the Visual Studio Code.
Sir, also any company, mostly in Bangalore company, mostly use Termus software.
Yeah, that is also there. That's what Termus is also there.
Yes.
Yeah, that also there. And you can even what other software you need it? In the case of Windows, there is something like a chocolatey. We will discuss it later. Even that also you have to install in your Windows. So these are some minimal softwares which it should be there in your system, in your laptop. Always it should be there. So what you have to do means, Yeah, correct, Ram. What is it? Is that command prompt is also fine. Yes. So I'll be explaining all those things. Don't worry, command prompt and all. But slowly, one by one, I will go around. Right. So we have to install all these things. So most of the softwares are already installed in my system. But what I will do that I will try to uninstall some of the software, install it to show you how it works actually. Right. In case of this putty and puttygen, I have already downloaded this software. Right. Suppose if you go to this, if you go to the Google and if you just say putty download, just to type this putty download in Google, right? There is one site. This is a website actually. So I'll give you the link also.
Visited.
Yeah.
First.
This is yeah.
So
this is the
PowerShell
website.
also, no?
Huh?
PowerShell also.
Yeah, PowerShell also you can use to log in it actually.
Yes,
There's no issue. Yeah. So you can use SSH to power in the PowerShell itself. Okay. So this is the site. This is a good website. What you have to do that you have to log into this site and then go down and you have to download this 64-bit x86 putty.exe. This you have to download it. And if you come scroll down, little bit scroll down, can you see something as a puttygen.exe? Yeah. There also you have to download this 684 x86. If you just click on this, right, it will start downloading it. Right. So if you when you click on this, it will start download. Wait till download. By default, in my system, it is downloading into my downloads folder. Here it is downloading. Can you see these two softwares? Putty.exe, putty.gen.exe. These are the two exes you have to download it. So this is a site, guys. Right. That's what I have already given this site link also in this notes. You have to refer that and you have to go and download this putty.exe or putty.exe, this 64 x86 bit. You have to download this one and then you have to download this puttygen.exe.
So what is a super putty?
Super putty is something like you can manage effectively, sir. Like say for example, it no doubt in the backend it uses putty only, but super putty what happened, right? You can manage. Suppose for example, you have some 10 servers are there. Every day you have to log into the 10 servers. Right. So what you have to do that? Okay, every day my work is that actually, okay, I have to go, I have to click on this putty exe, give the details and then log in. Again, launch the putty exe, give the details and log in. So it is a time consuming process. So in the putty exe, what you can do now, you can set up the username and the password. You can set up all the IPs, everything. You have to just click on it. It will automatically launch that virtual machines. You need not to do all those things, whatever you do in putty. So super putty is something like it is more advantageous. It means that you can able to configure all the username, password, and the host name or the IP address, whatever is it, you can configure everything at a time, and you can every day whenever you want to do it, you have to just click that session. It will try to launch that virtual machine,
like
or you'll be able to log in. Yeah, like mobile system. Yes. Right. Right. So we have used the putty, super putty in our previous organization, a very good tool because it has a lot of features also. Plus, I don't want to tell many other things because it might confuse you. Like there are many settings are there which you need to do it actually. What is it and everything? I will tell you after some time, not now when I take up the super putty, right? I will show you how the super putty works and what are the like automated way you can achieve by doing some kind of a settings and all. I will tell you. There you learn. I will not be able to tell now because it will take a lot of our time, right? So now, yeah. So this is what the prerequisite we need. So apart from these two, guys, like where is the diagram? Here. Apart from this putty and puttygen, you have to install the git bash. You have to install the Visual Studio Code, terminals or chocolate or whatever you need. You have to install all these things. Later, I will tell you the installation about all these things. This is all required for us. Say, for example, I have installed the git bash. Can you see here? If you do a right click, okay, and go with the show more option, can you see something like a git bash? See, git bash, open git bash here. See, this is my git bash, which I've installed it. Can you see here? If I do a right click, go to the show more option. Can you see? Open with the code. So this is the Visual Studio Code which I have downloaded, right? So you need to have all this minimal software installed in your system. Always. Without this, you cannot work anything. You need to have all these third-party softwares. And all these are free, right? You can download and you can keep it. It will not harm your system. It can download and keep it. Now, so coming back here very quickly, Now what happened that I need to log into this server, which is that server. This is the first server I have to log in. As I said earlier, right? Whenever you want to log into any server, you have to just understand now, as of now, that I need a public IP of that server. So here for this first virtual, this is the public IP, right? And with this public IP, you will be able to log into the server. How to log into the server? First, what happened, guys? If you go to your downloads where you're having this first key.pem, so this is a pem key file. You can log in. So you can log in into the Linux machine, into any Linux machine, or into the Linux machine, or into this first server Linux machine, what you have created, right? You can create, you can log in with the help of a first key.pem file. It means that when you're logging in it, you have to give the username. That is nothing but the Ubuntu, as I said earlier. That is the default username. And the password, whatever you want to enter or whatever you have to give the details about this first key.pem. Where is this file is located? You have to give the path of that file. In my case, the path of the file is I have kept under the downloads folder. Under that, you have this file ski.pem, right? Do you agree with me? Yes.
Yes.
Now the thing is that whenever I want to log into the server, I have to depend upon some third-party software to logging it. Say, for example, in this case, I have to use the Putty software, Putty.exe. Putty doesn't accept the .pem key file. It doesn't accept it. Because Putty is designed such that it will not accept the PEM key. It always accepts the .ppk format file or .ppk key file. So in that case, what happened that this .pem file, I need to convert into .ppk file. So to convert from PEM to the PPK file, we have a software known as Puttygen. That is what I have installed this software. Puttygen can convert or will convert Puttygen software will convert from .pem format to .ppk format. Simple. This is what you have to understand. So now coming back here, you say that Rajesh, if you go to the downloads, you have a .pem, that is first key.pem. Where is the .ppk? You will not get directly like that, man. You have to generate or you have to create it. How to create? With the help of a puttygen.exe. So let me launch this putty.exe. Yes, launch it. Now, once you launch it, you'll get this dialog box or something like this where you have to give some details. Now, what you have to do that first initially, you have to click on this key. Go to your as a parameter for saving key, click on this option, select the ppk version as 2 and say okay. So what you have to do that, you have to click on the key, go to the parameter for saving, you have to select as 2. Earlier it was 3, right? You have to select as a 2 because you are creating a ppk with the version format as a 2 version format. Why we are doing again? Because sometime what happened for some servers, it not allow the ppk version 3 format, right? In that case, you will not be able to log into the server if your ppk file is in the third format or in the version 3. It always accept the version 2, right? But why they have given it, I will tell it later. But why they are given this 3 and all, I will explain it later. Okay, now you have to click on this 2 and say okay. This is the first thing you have to do. What you have to do, guys? First, you have to launch the putty.exe, go to the key, go to the parameter for saving file. It will be showing as a 3. You have to select 2 and then say okay. Good. Now what is happening after that? It says that you have to load an existing key, right? Just click on that, right? And then go with the all file, click on the first pem.ppa and say open and then say okay. And it says that once you did it, then you have to say save the private key. Save it as a private key. Click on this. You say yes. And then go to the all files. Select this first .pem file. Just give the name instead of .pem. Just give a ppk like this. And then say save it. Now you could see that you have created a file by name first key.ppk file. So do I have to do it again to show you guys? Is it required? Yes, we'll do one more time. I will just remove this file, destroy it, launch the put.exe, putigen.exe, go to the key, use parameter saving for the key file, select this two and say okay. After that, you have to click on this load. After, like, you need to find out where is .pem file. So you have to just select all files, select this first key.pem and say open it and just say okay. After that, you need to save the file. Either you can save it as a public key or the private key. I need as a private key. So click on the save private key. You have to say yes. And then like you need to select that first k.pem. Okay, you are not seeing it. Okay, let me say all files. Now click on this. Now while saving it, you are not saving as a .pem. You are saving it as a .ppk file. Okay, now you could see that a file has been created. Now, sometimes some intro might ask that, okay, Rajesh, you have created with the first .pem file, first key.pem file, you have created the first key.ppk file. He will ask you, is there any difference between these two files? Is there any difference between the two files? You will say, no, sir. Both the files are same. Both are same. Both are same. It means that the content wise, right? Both are same. Only the format has been changed. Only the format has been changed. You have to say like that. So later, guys, whatever I'm saying, right? Saying you now, whatever I'm explaining here, I'll redefine it later. I'll be giving you a better answer. Now, just kindly accept me saying that, okay, both are same. Now, then you'll ask me if both are same, then why you are creating the PEM to PPK file and doing it? We will discuss it later. But what I'm trying to tell you that when any question is asked like that, like whether the .ppk file PEM file both are same or what is the difference? There is no difference. Sir. Both are same. You have to say. Then if you ask you further, then what is it? Why both are same? Then what is the use of converting it? Then you have to give some elaborate answer. So what is that? I will give you later, not now, because it will confuse you. You'll not be able to understand or appreciate. Yes. Right. Privacy enhancement. That's correct. But what exactly the difference? I'll be explaining after some time, not now. So now you have to understand that, okay, I have generated this first key.ppk file because our putty doesn't accept the PEM. It always accepts the PPK file. Right now, what happened, right? Okay, now I have this file with me, first.ppk file. Right, I have a put.exe. Now let me log into the server. So I will launch the put.exe. Right, this is some default. It is showing you. Right now, what you have to do that you have to go to the server. You have to click on the first server. This is, you have to click on it. You will get a public IP. Copy this public IP, and what you have to do that you have to just paste it over here. Paste it over here. It's that either you can give host name or the public IP. So either you can give the public IP, or else you could see that there is something like a public IPv4 DNS. Yes, you can even copy this, and even you can give this also like this. Like this also. So this is nothing but the public DNS name. What is it? Public IPv4 DNS name. So either you can give the DNS name, or else you can give the public IPv4. Most of the time you see that people always give the public IP. They'll copy this and they'll give as here as an entry. But you cannot give the private IPv4 address. You cannot give the private IP address, or you cannot give the private IPv4 DNS name. You cannot give these names because you cannot log into a private IP address. You have to only log in through the public IP address. Right? So now I've given the name. One thing. Now, while logging in it, it asks to ask for the PPK file. Now, where the entry you can give is here. You could see that there is something like a connection. Expand this connection. There is something like SSH. Expand this. There's an auth. Expand this. There is something like a credential. Click on this. Go to the browse, and then just select first key.ppk file. You have to select, and you have to select this key file. First key.ppk file. Is it clear? So you have to go to the connection, expand it, under SSH, expand it, under auth, expansion it, then you go with the credential, click on this, go here, browse, and select this file. So this you have did the setting, go back here to the session, you have given the public IP, now you say open it. So you have to accept the connection. Now it will ask you for the username. You have to give the Ubuntu as a username and enter. You'll be able to log into the server. Clear? So, guys, I think most of you already know this, right? I'm sure that you have worked on it. Most of you already know it, but there are many other people out there who don't have this idea on how to log into the server, how to create. That's the reason I took some elaborate session today, but this is a one-time activity. Later, you will see that I will not be doing the same thing again, right? I'll be very fast in doing all these things so that you should be able to understand whatever I'm doing it, right? So now you are logged into the system. Till here, will you be able to practice it, guys? So it means that you should have an account. You need to create an account. And after creating an account, you have to go to the EC2 services. Then in the EC2 service, you have to launch the VM. And after launching the VM, you need to install some softwares like Puttigen and Puttigen.exe. And then you need to create a PPK file out of that PEM file, and then you need to log in it. This is just like half an hour activity. That's all. Right? So you should be able to do it. If you're facing any issues with that, in this weekend, you have to ask me. So it means that by tomorrow, you should create an account and you should little bit practice on how to create a virtual machine. Right? So I will not be going in detail now because it's been timed up. So what I will do that I will try to connect again on Monday, and we'll be able to proceed further, because today agenda, right, whatever we are supposed to do it, we couldn't do it because we only created the virtual machine. You create account, and this is the two things which he covered it, right? Introduction to the Linux operating system and working on Linux and all, we will be starting from the Monday onwards. So is it fine, guys? So any doubts you have? Because today I explained little more in detail about what are things we are supposed to know, because these are some of the very basic things which I covered it today, which we are supposed to know all these things. And then we also saw how we can create a virtual machine and how to log in it, and what are the third-party softwares you have. Right? So guys, please don't unmute it, guys. Please always mute it and keep it. Right? So guys, any doubts? Afzal, did you understood today's session, whatever we covered so far?
Yes, sir, I understood.
So will you be able to do this everything by this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, anytime when you get a free time?
Yes, sir, I will try my best.
Okay, good. Not try my best. You have to do.
Okay.
Rajiv, any doubts you have?
Yes, sir, I have to ask. When you were selecting the key, there was the PPK file also. Why don't you have selected that directly, so that instead of converting the PEM file to the PPK file?
No, here this is a different name, and this is a new key.pem. For that, I created new key.ppk file. But when
when you were selecting on the server side, on the AWS server, there was the
at the time
file
of creation,
and the PPK file.
Yeah. Now what happened? No, why I am doing that? Because that's it's a good question. .pem file, through a .pem file, you can create a .ppk file. That is absolutely fine. But if you have a .ppk file, you cannot get the .pem file. In the real time, what happens? Sometime what happened, right? You need to use a .pem file. There is a requirement where you need to provide a .pem file. It will not accept the .ppk file, because .ppk file is a format. It is only used by the putty to log into the server. But in the real time, what happened, right? You might not be using putty, or if you're using putty also, still you need a .pem file, because when you are authenticated to a server through automation, right? Through automation, there you need to provide a .pem. You have to provide the .pem file details, right? If you don't have that file, you cannot log into the server while doing automation. Clear? So that's the reason we should have a .pem file. That is a basic requirement. We need to have that key should be there in our local drive in some folder. With that, you can create a .ppk file, and the .ppk file, with the putty, we can log into the server by using .ppk file, right? You understood? So whenever, always, it is the best practice that when you are creating a new key, always you need to select the .pem itself. You shouldn't select .ppk file. When you select the .ppk file, it'll you can download, but you have to always log into the putty only. You don't have any other option. Because .pmk, your putty, then it cannot convert to .ppk to .pem. No, there's no provision. It cannot convert. But .pem to .ppk, yes, it converts it. Clear, Rajiv? Any doubts?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, one more doubt. Last year I have created the free tier account, so already it is the 1 year, so expired. But I have got the $50 of credit. So can I use that account, and if I get some bill so that I can pay from the credit which I got from the Amazon?
So after 1 year, all those credit will be expired, sir.
No, sir. It is the
if
one credit
there,
$25. Yeah, it is in the
yeah, you
validity.
Can use it. Yeah, you can use it, no doubt. Yeah, you can use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So Naresh, while transferring a file also, we need a .ppk file. That's what I'm saying, that ppk file will not be accepted. This one, Naresh, when you're doing SCP or something like that, you can do by using a .pem file actually. So .pem files are required actually. Right, this is a good question. .ppk file, SSH or SCP doesn't accept the .ppk file format at all. Only .pem file.
Sir, that means we can create the both file ppk file. We can download the both ppk file or the PEM file, so that if we are using the putty, we can use the ppk, or for the other we can use the PEM file.
So when you are creating a key for the first time, right? When you're creating a key, right, it'll always allow you to download either the .pem or .ppk. It will not allow you to do both. Once you have downloaded it, right, then that screen will go off. Then you cannot go back and you cannot download again. You got it?
Got it.
So there's no provision. So when you are trying to create for the first time, you have to always download as a .pem file only.
Okay.
One time activity.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So any doubts you have, guys? Anki Reddy, did you understood? Dayanand, Jayprakash, Milan?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What about Narendra Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Sir, did you understood everything?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what are the information which I shared? Was it useful for you? Did everyone knew about this, or something new you learned, or something you got some new points? Because I know many people know about this, but just asking, out of many people would know many things, but did you learn something new today or something, or else it's same thing, whatever you knew it?
Yes, sir. We have learned new things.
Okay, right. That's what I need. I mean, it shouldn't feel like, okay, this I already know something. It was a boring session or something like, okay, no, you should not feel something, some extra point you need to add always, so that people, when they're listening, even though they know something, they should get something out of whatever we are explaining it. At least if you are learning any one thing. So what in the organization or whenever, what I say to our teammates, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I think I didn't stop the record, right? So guys, I will stop the recording now. Then we will discuss it. Yeah.